The Cleveland Cavaliers are on top of the NBA world right now after beginning this season 33-4 and in the midst of a 12-game win streak that includes a victory over what many perceive to be the best team in the Western Conference, and that of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are breathing new life into dwindling ratings and are just an overall fun watch whether you're a fan of the team or not. With that being the case, it's pretty damn hard to find anything worthy of stock down status. There doesn't really seem to be any real negative trends with the Cavaliers at the moment, but that won't stop me from at least trying to look objective. That's right, it's time for another edition of Stock Up, Stock Down. But before we dive in, do your boy a favor and smash that like button, subscribe to keep the Cavs coverage coming, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a beat. With that said, let's dive in. Stock Up, Darius Garland's All-Star chances. When the first returns for the 2025 NBA All-Star Game were revealed, nearly all of Cleveland Cavaliers fandom collectively had a bone to pick with the fickle concept of fan voting, as there was a glaring omission. Hell, two if we're being honest, but the biggest name absent from the Eastern Conference backcourt grouping was none other than Darius Garland. The 60-year guard is not so quietly having an all-NBA caliber season and has perhaps been the leading man for the NBA's best team and most explosive offense. Prior to the first returns dropping back on January 2nd, Garland was averaging 20.5 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 6.7 assists while completing 49.3% of his field goals, including 42.9% of his triples per game. Very respectable counting stats considering he's playing below 31 minutes per game. Up to that point, there were only 7 total players that were averaging as many points, dealing out as many assists, and shooting as well as he has, all of which made the cut for the first return. Now, there were already numerous, and I really mean numerous, reasons to be cited for why Garland is All-Star worthy, ranging from the simple fact that the Cavs have the best record in the league at 33-4 to the more analytically based fact that the Cavs are essentially plus 13 higher in offensive rating with Garland out on the court as opposed to him off of it, sporting an offensive rating of 128.4 with him on and only 115.6 with him off of it. He leads the NBA in points per possession in the clutch. He's shooting 19 of 29, which is 65.5% in the clutch. He's dished out 10 assists to just 1 turnover with the game on the line. Or even if you take a look at his per 36 numbers, where he's putting up 25 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists. Numbers only rivaled by that of Nikola Jokic and Ja Morant. Like I said, there are more than a few reasons why Garland deserves to receive his second career All-Star nod, but if you found yourself aligning with the school of thought that he just hasn't done enough, look no further than his stretch of play since those first returns were announced. In the 4 games since, he has taken his game to a new level, putting up averages of 24.8 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 6.8 assists while completing over 55.6% of his field goals, including 48% of his triples, along with insane efficiency at the charity stripe, knocking down 94.4% of his freebies. The nationally televised outing between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers only further bolstered the All-Star agenda. That game drew an average of 1.87 million viewers, which was up 20% versus the comparable window last year. It was just the type of platform Darius Garland needed to showcase his many talents, and he did that for the most part, pouring in 18 points and dealing out 7 assists and 1 very key floater to put the game out of reach. And not one day after he did that did the second returns drop, and who would make the cut? Why, none other than Darius Garland. And as if that wasn't enough, DG put on quite possibly his best effort of the season by carrying the Cavs home over the Toronto Raptors, putting up a season-high 40 points while contributing 9 assists in the process. And to put a bow on it, Darius Garland is now the only player in the league averaging at least 20 points per game and in the 50-40-90 club. He's quite literally in a league of his own at the moment. DG making the All-Star roster seems more and more likely with each passing day. Let's hope that continues.
Dunner steps back, and buries a 3! Wow! A haymaker by Darius Garland!
Stock up, Max Strus's 3-point production. Having a player the caliber of Max Strus available off your bench is invaluable. Nevertheless, Strus's shot had been off to say the least over the course of his first 7 games of the season. He was completing just 34.8% of his field goals over that span, but perhaps the worst part was the 3-point percentage, which stood at an icy 27.8% during that stretch. Strus went 10 of 36 in total from 3-point range and appeared to be struggling to get his shot going. That said, defense is clearly still respected his ability to shoot, as 1.1 of his 5.1 total three-pointers per game were deemed what the NBA considers tightly defended. That was second to only Donovan Mitchell's 1.9 during that stretch. Whether a player is making his shots or not, having that type of gravity and ability to draw defensive attention is valuable within itself, as it can often free others up. And if you've paid close enough attention, that is exactly what is happening. Strus's presence tends to open up cutting lanes for the bigs via the use of DHO sets, zoom actions, and the pick and roll game. Max's movement within itself can shift the entire defensive focus as he's flying around the court in an effort to get to his spots. But while it's great to generate gravity and have the attention of the defense, it's even more effective when you actually knock down the shots. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what Max Strus has done over his last 2 games. He has drilled 9 total triples in his last 2 contests, 5 of which came in quite honestly what can be summed up as the game of the season against the Thunder. His second triple of the game was a perfect encapsulation of his biggest skill set, movement shooting. Watch as Mobley gets him the ball off the DHO, giving him just enough space to pull up and knock down the tray. It's a mighty fast sequence. And sometimes the defense just has to pick their poison. On this particular play, the Thunder have no choice but to collapse upon a cutting Evan Mobley, who receives the ball from Donovan Mitchell, where he then reroutes it out of the short roll to Strus in the left corner. And when the defense decides to blitz or trap the likes of Darius Garland like they do here, it's important to make them pay for leaving you enough space to pull up.
A 3-point lead. They own a 6-point lead. Max Strus drills another fourth quarter 3.
Max has done that lately, and it's truly good to see, especially from the man who many fans, including myself, feels a tailor-made fit for this Cavaliers offense. All of this, and we haven't even mentioned his playmaking. He knows how to leverage his gravity and will frequently find cutters and hit them in stride for easy buckets at the rim. Stock down. Playtime. So as I mentioned, at 33-4, it's really difficult to nitpick or find things that are trending downward, so this may come off a little bit cheap, but sue me. Something that no one is mentioning is the fact that Sunday's matchup against the Indiana Pacers could actually represent the first game of the season in which everybody is healthy. The Cavs haven't been able to say that in years. Someone has always been out, man. Assuming everyone is actually healthy enough to play, we could start to see some fluctuations in minute totals from game to game across the board, as everyone, and I mean everybody, is jockeying for playtime. Some tough conversations may need to be had, as this team legitimately has about 12 to 13 players deserving of minutes in any given game. As it currently stands, the Cavs already have 9 players averaging at least 20 minutes per game. I think that number goes down as we see the bench minutes being distributed amongst a rather deep cast of supporting role players. Will Kenny Atkinson go situational? How deep will the rotation run? Will he adjust depending upon the matchup, or perhaps what combinations are working in a particular game in an effort to feed the hot hands? Time will tell, but this entire roster looks to be healthy, and that's a good thing. That'll do it for this one, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know whose stock you think is rising the most, and if anyone is trending downward. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and last but not least, go Cavs.
Garland pulls back, 7 on the 24. Garland the drive, it's up, it's good! Timeout, OKC, it's a 7-point lead.